And here's the oil I'm using. It is original John Deere oil, Turf Guard, 4-cycle, and it's a 10W30. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Down in the shop today, and here in central Kentucky, spring is just around the corner. We've had a few 60 and 70 degree days. Not today, it's about 35 outside right now, but mowing's going to be starting here pretty quick. So today I'm going to be getting the John Deere Zero Turn ready to go for the season and do a spring oil change with filter. Not only will we change the oil in the mower, oil in the oil filter, we're also going to put a new fuel filter in. I'll just check the air filters. I'm sure they're probably still okay. I haven't mowed any really dusty areas, and I'm sure they're still fine. We'll check them out just to be sure and clean them if we need to. And then we'll go over the grease fittings, make sure they've got plenty of grease in them. We may give it a little washing off before we start mowing with it this season. So what do you say? Let's get started. This is a model Z930M and does have the Kawasaki engine. Your engine may be different. I want to kind of familiarize myself with how this oil drains out. This is the oil pressure sensor, and this is actually the valve that drains the oil out. And you attach a hose to the bottom of the valve right here. Of course, put your drain pan underneath the mower. And then you just open this valve, and that will drain the oil out. There's the oil filter. But first we want to start the mower up and let it run just a few minutes. That'll warm the oil up and be easier to drain out. We'll get more of it out of there when we do drain it. And in checking my operator's manual, under capacities, we have, here's our model, Z930M. And it looks like it holds 2.4 quarts. Now, I went back to the dealer where I bought the mower and my tractor. Good folks to deal with, and stopped by there and got what we needed to do this oil change. There's our oil filter. And we got 3 quarts of oil. We'll need about 2.5, but got enough there to fill it up. And there's a new fuel filter. So I've had the mower outside and had it running for a few minutes, so we're ready to drain the oil out and get this oil change taken care of. All right, I have just a little plastic hose hooked up to the drain valve, running down to the catch can. Kind of surprised that oil's pretty black for just 75 hours, but probably a good thing that we're changing it. Here's the end of the valve that you unscrew, and see it's got a little O-ring on the end of it there that seals it back up once all of our oil is drained out. And we're still draining, so we'll give it a few more minutes to get it all out. Yeah, I could have put that drain pipe down in the can itself, but just wanted to show you that it is draining out. So that's why it's running on top there a little bit. That won't hurt anything. That'll run down in there eventually. The name of the game is patience. We'll just make sure everything's drained out. This filter is super small, so even with my filter wrench all the way in, it worked, but it's kind of hard to get a hold of. And the way this frame is designed, there is a dip right here. I think you can see it. So if you do get oil that's dripping off up here, it will go to this area and then go ahead and drip down on the pan. So I hand tightened it, and then I went about a half a turn more. So that should keep it from leaking. Won't be any problem there. And then we marked the filter March 22. So that reminds me when I did change the oil and put a filter in this. Yeah, still a little bit coming out. So we'll be patient. So while we're letting the rest of the oil drain, I did get a new fuel filter. So let's get it put on. And you can see it right there. It just has little crimp clamps. You just crimp them together, crimp that part right there together, and it'll slide off. So let's get that done. And you do want to pay attention, make sure you put the filter on in the right direction. You can see the arrow right there. So the arrow goes towards the engine. And on the new filter, we got an arrow right there. Kind of hard to see, but there is an arrow that's pointing that way, so this end goes toward the engine. And we just crimp them together, slide it back. And then we'll slide our clamp back on where it belongs. Like that. A little bit of gas left in the old filter. And again, we'll make sure we're slid up against as far as it will go. And slide the hose clamp back on. Quite a bit smaller than the old one, and I'm sure this filter's still fine, but hey, for $3 or $4, why not change it too when you're doing an oil change? The oil is quit, so let's put our plug back in, and we just snug it up. It is plastic, so you don't want to overdo it. One more wiping down, get any excess oil out of the way. All right, looks pretty good. So now let's put some oil in. 2.4 quarts, so here's our oil filler. Got us a good wide funnel, so hopefully we won't spill any. And here's the oil I'm using. It is original John Deere oil, Turf Guard, 4-cycle, and it's a 10W30. With a large funnel like this, it'll tend to back up that tube, and then you'll have a spill. So we're just pouring it in slow. Right, that's the second quart. We need about 4/10 of a quart more. So I'm going to pour some in, and I'll check. And I do have a gauge here on the side, clear gauge right here. So I can kind of tell when I've got a half a quart in. Okay, that's pretty close to having enough oil in, so we're going to start it up now and let that oil circulate through the filter, and then we'll check it. And add more if needed. Okay, oil level is full. No leaks. I let it run for a few minutes. See, no leaks. Fuel filter, no leaks on it, so we're good there. So we should be ready for mowing season. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Pretty simple maintenance job that we did, changing the oil in the Z930M along with the fuel filter. And before I finish, I will check those grease fittings and make sure that they've got plenty of grease in them. I'll look at the belts. Thanks for watching. See you next time. We hope you've enjoyed the video. And if you did, how about giving us a like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.